What's going on, guys? Glowing Your Studios, finally coming back at you with a new sculpt. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's been quite some time. Got a lot of stuff going on. Opened an Etsy shop, been experimenting with different kinds of characters and different genres of games and different models. So it's been a lot that's been going on. But we're back. I'm going to link my Etsy in the description so you guys could check out the stuff that's been going on so far. And I also played Super Mario RPG, and it is incredible. So what we're going to do today is we're going to sculpt Mario. So you see the guy right here. You could see tons of round shapes. If we're going to look right here off the beginning, I mean, come on. There's lots of round, safe edges that we're going to be going with. And this is going to be, it's going to be a fun sculpt. A lot of Mario's challenges, which even comes in the form of drawing, is just this enigmatic shape of his cap, because when you look at it from a profile view, it has this strange indentation that's toward the back of his head that makes the whole, makes it difficult to work with proportionately. So we're going to get to that, you're going to see all that good stuff, but for now, it's a distorted sphere. Same thing with the head, another big round sphere, one for the nose. We're going to do the same thing with these eyes. We're going to take the sphere, we're going to compress it so that it winds up becoming a much more flattened pancake shape, and then we're just going to fit that right into the base of the skull. And then same thing, we're going to do a very similar technique for the ears, spherical hands, tubes for the arms and the legs, right? Very stout, just adorable little features. Look at this guy, he's just a fun guy that we're going to have a good time with. And then same thing here, we've done shoes and feet before, where we take a sphere, cut it right in half, and then now we're met with a dome-like shape like this. We're going to fit that right, it's going to fit right under the pants like that, and you'll see how it's all going to develop. So let's get right to the sculpt. Excited to get back to it again. Looking forward to showing you guys what we got, because we're going to turn this guy into a whole figure. Let's do it. All right, so let's get the sculpting on. We are doing exactly what we did, or rather, what we said we're going to do back from the blocking phase, where you see this enormous big sphere for the head, another chunky sphere for the base of the body, cylinders for the arms, for the legs, took that sphere, cut it in half for the shoes. You actually see here for the base of the gloves, right around the wrist, I took a torus, not the sign. We took a torus, which is basically a donut shape, and we're just going to use that to fit that right around the edge of the cylinder for the base of the arm. And then for the hands, right, just the base, we're just going to do another sphere, flatten that a little bit. You saw I just added the nose. So many spheres, guys. There's just a big round guy. Round shapes, conventional wisdom when it comes to character design dictate that round shapes represent safe, approachable, reliable characters. And the colors of red and blue represent heroism, right? If you think Superman, one of the most textbook examples possible, we got Optimus Prime, goated, and then we got Mario over here, and of course, our red, white, and blue America. Let's go, guys. But anyway, we have, that's besides the point. We're gonna go with, again, more of these round shapes. You see, actually, in the corner of this hat, I just indented that little crease that I had mentioned before, where it's this kind of semi-beret, imagine like a French beret, right? It's like a French beret with a brim. So it's a very interesting design. It's a hat that I've never seen before. I don't know if Mario's hat and that kind of design was specific to this character. You also just saw right here in the background, I was working on the mustache, and it was not successful. It was I was using a sphere, and then I tried cutting it with the trim tool. Didn't work, undid that. Used a cube, did the same thing, didn't work. So instead, what I just did right here was that I took cylinders, I put it into an array. So an array basically, by however many patterns you want to dictate. Let's say for this, Mario has, I think 6. Yeah, like 6 bumps for the bottom of his mustache. I took a cylinder, multiplied it by 6, so it's equally distributed in terms of its distance, and then fused it all together so that there's nice, even, proportionate bumps. And then I cut the top in a semicircle shape so that it has the nice arch that he has that you see right now. So did the same thing with the eyebrows. Really easy. Just used the tube tool, flatten it out a little bit, fitted it against that big old head that he has, and now you can really see him coming together, right? We're matching the shapes, you know, let me tell you, reference images are going to be your best friend when it comes to making any sculpt. I mean, when it goes to drawing in general, especially if because you could draw anything from memory, really, if you become good enough at it. But if you're challenging yourself, you're either working in a new medium, you're trying to branch out and work on characters you've never done before, there is absolutely no shame at all in using references. You should use that by all means. It just helps out a ton. So now we have the base done. You see it right here. It's got the overalls and everything. What we're doing right now is just mapping out all the different pieces. So you can see it's like almost like a marionette. We have it connected and in a position where it's easy to articulate and get into a pose that we want. So right here, this is the pose that I wound up settling with. I think it's kind of cocky, kind of flashy, but also still humble at the same time. I thought it'd be a lot of fun. We added some texture for the hat, the pants, and now it's time to throw on some color for this guy. So, you know, this was, when it comes to these renders in general, a lot of these colors for the sake of the sculpt is just purely for demonstration. When I 3D print, I don't 3D print in color. You can't, at least at Allware, you can't 3D print resin, because I use resin, you can't 3D print resin in color. So what I do these colors for is I create them as a reference. That way my painters, Resin and Urbano, God bless you guys, they do an absolutely incredible job and you're going to see at the end. But I use it as reference. It makes for good promotional material, so I could create Nomad's rendering program or rendering system has gotten so much stronger. They wound up making the shadows a lot more dynamic and smooth. It just looks much more professional. So despite all that, I still try to make the renders look good, where you see me adding a whole bunch of different highlights to the skin. Color matching is extremely important, guys. Whether you're doing this digitally or you're painting in real life, I'm sure that any of you painters out there know how difficult that could be, especially when you're working with very specific source material. You have to factor in light, complementary colors, the way that the colors interact with each other on the same surface. And it's just, it's a lot to deal with. So here you see, let's say on the overalls, right? I'm adding these dark tones. I'm going to be doing the same thing on the shirt where I'm adding tones under the armpits and various creases, under the neck, so on and so forth. Just to, you know, give it that extra touch where right now there's not any artificial light that's helping the model. This is just to create a nice contour throughout. So I do the same thing, right? You see right here on the top of the hat, just give a nice little warm orange highlight, and you can see it coming together. You know, the sculpt and the shape, they absolutely have their own merit. Can't have anything else without the sculpt. But the colors, you know, we're creatures that innately seek color. We like bright things. It's just it's why fruit evolved to be as bright as they are. It's just very attractive for us, for other organisms. Even though I don't think any deer are going to be sculpting, you know, Mario RPG figures. But that's besides the point. Here's the finished product. There you have it. There's Mario as we know it from Mario RPG. Here's some more finished renders. Love the way that this guy came out. It was just an absolute blast to do. It was simple, clean, shapes that did have some challenge, but were still just like a joy to work with. So what you're going to see here is I actually keyed it. I separated the pieces, which again is pretty easy. Just 4 major components: the head, the body, the base, and the little star that he sits on. And you see that all these pieces come together. Makes it much easier for shipping purposes as well as printing. Just makes it much more structurally sound, easy to access. And this is how the print came out. Love the way this guy came out. It was just a joy. This is scaling next to the Geno that I made. We're gonna get to that later. And after Resin and Urbano finished, look at this. Look at how gorgeous he looks. Absolutely incredible through and through. So if you guys got this far, thanks so much for watching. Really glad to be back, and you can expect to see a lot more of me soon. Really appreciate it. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.